Hello out there. We're on the air. Microphone's good. Microphone check. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. Cheers. Cheers to you. Cheers to Arnie. Showed up for the day. Showed up for his shift today. My co-host. The host. I would say I'm his co-host. Anyways, how are we doing? How are we today? I'm feeling fine. Let's make sure the zaps are rolling here. Actually, I got to check my balance. What is this? Are we live on Zapstream? Let's see. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. Okay. Hold on. Hold on here, folks. Give me 1 sec. Okay, we got a balance. Good. Good. It is Fat Zap Friday today, folks. Happy Fat Zap Friday. Let's get things tuned in here. Alrighty. Watch. Yes, we are. Letha. Fat Zap Friday to start the day. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Letha, looks like there's a couple people over in the Zap stream, but we got a Fat Zap to start the day from Letha. 8,888 sats, our favorite number. Thank you, Letha. Cheers to you. Happy Friday. From the Central University of Northern Toronto. Woohoo. Wait, what's Arnie doing here? You good? He's good. Okay, well, I titled the show today, Bitcoiners are relentless. So we're going to be talking about a bunch of different things, bunch of topics today. It's going to be a great Friday today. We're going to have this show, and then whoa. Are you okay? Oh my God. What a guy. I don't know what's going on here though. That one, anyways, we'll troubleshoot here on the fly. Arnie's had enough already. See you later, Arn. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, let's tell Nostr that we're live. Hi, Nostr. We are live. We are live. Okay, let's see what's going on in the chat here. Killer with the first chat of the day. Good morning, Killer. We got the man Rick Costa in the house today, reminding everybody to smash the like. I don't know. I'm a little bit worried here, Letha. I don't know where those sats went to. They showed up on the Zap stream, but they should be here. There they are. I was checking the wrong one. Sorry. Don't mean to scare you. It's okay. We're okay. We're back. They have arrived. Thank you, Letha. Yay, Friday. 8,888 sats. Clean your machine. Good to see you in the chat this morning. Randy, good morning. Letha's in both chats. Love to see that. Jason says, good morning. We got our own trauma, says yo. And what does Renita have to say today? Good morning, Jor. I sent you 1,000 sats yesterday, but I didn't understand how to attach a note to say it was from me. Sent from my speed wallet. Renita, which did you send it to ARNIE'S wallet? Or did you send it to the King Golf wallet? I did see 1,000 come in though yesterday. So it did arrive. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of tough with the notes. I'm pretty sure you can attach a note in Speed Wallet. There's a little spot beneath the Zap where you can leave a note. You can't leave emojis though, which is shitty. But you can leave a note in there. Santino, happy Friday, everyone. I finally have a day off to tune in live. All good to see you. Welcome. Gonna have a good show today. I need to check out Zapstream. Never heard of it until I started watching this channel. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of action on there. Although there's 22 people on there right now. It's mostly, I would say, the hardcore Bitcoiners are on Zapstream. It's pretty cool. It's like it's a YouTube alternative, except you can do a lot more in the chat. You can say a lot more, whatever you want, actually. You can leave links, you can share pictures, you can do a whole bunch of stuff, and you can zap the show directly from the stream, which Letha did this morning. Joshua, good morning, Jor and Arn. Ontario appreciate y'all. A. I like the A in there because why not? Hey, just throw it in there at the end. Good morning, Brennan. And look at this. We got a super chat to start the day. Santino and Brennan, double good morning today. Love that. Thank you, Santino. One of our Bitcoin journeymen there. You can see the Bitcoin journeyman with the little S beside their names. Letha's one. It's a good way to support the channel. The Bitcoin journeyman. You get a little badge beside your name. It's like $3 a month Canadian. So if every person who watched the show every day joined as a Bitcoin journeyman, you know, I could very confidently say that we would never have any ads on the show. I know it's tough though. I don't like asking for support, but that's the reality. I do want to keep this channel as ad free for as long as possible. This one and the Maple Bitcoin, we're kind of doing the same thing with both. It's going to be 100% value for value, which I believe to be the best form. And even with the show, like I don't turn any ads on for the live streams because of that reason. I just want to keep things very, it's all about the experience, the viewer. So if you're watching a live stream and there's a bunch of ads popping up, like there's nothing more annoying than that. So sacrificing a bit of YouTube AdSense money, but I think it's worth it. Hey, look at this. Josh with a fat zap, our favorite number. Letha matching Letha for today. 8,888 sats. And Josh has Maple Bitcoin hoodies, Jor. Any left? I want in. Yeah, actually did a count this morning. I don't know if we'll sell out before the show today or not, but we're pretty close. I think we have, here, let me double check. We've sold 13 out of 21. So we do still have some Maple Bitcoin hoodies left. They're not quite the same quality as the We Are Right About Bitcoin hoodies are going to be, but they're good. Like these are the hoodies that we use for King Golf. It's the one that I always wear on the show here, the Navy one. So if you are wanting one, what I would say is before 1 o'clock or 2 p.m. Eastern time today, before 2 p.m. Eastern time, shoot an email to mapleBitcoinPod@gmail.com. And there's been several people paid so far, but basically what I'm doing is we're going to just keep the list. We're going to keep the first 21, and then we're going to make like a waiting list, I guess you'd say, in case any of the 21 decide they don't want one of the hoodies, then we'll give it to the next person in line. So that's how you could approach that if you are wanting one of the Maple Bitcoin hoodies. They're pretty nice, I must say. By the way, we're also live on Rumble this morning. We got 7 likes on Rumble yesterday. That's a new record. So big shout out to Rumble. I don't know who's there. Let's check out Rumble right now. Quick Rumble check. We got one person watching over there. That's all right. We're playing the long game with Rumble. Shit. I really want Rumble to succeed. I do. They're throughout the last 4 years here of Crazy Town World, Rumble's done their best to let people speak freely. and I support that. And they're also Bitcoiners. They own Bitcoin themselves. They're just lacking the infrastructure. It's still not a great user experience over on Rumble, but it'll improve, I think. And so I've been posting there again, hoping to play the long game with Rumble. Oh, look at this. Look at this. We got somebody zapped a coffee. I don't know why I like that so much. It's kind of cool. But somebody zapped a coffee. Says, morning, Jor, fat zap, coffee on me. So I don't know who that was, but thank you. 3,641 sats. Pretty cool. Let me just show you here quickly. Zap Jora coffee. I like this. It's a new thing. So this is something you don't need nostr to use. You can just, with the link here, you can just go there. You don't need nostr, and you can just use, as long as you have some sats on a Lightning wallet, you can zap a coffee. Oh, that was Duncan. Saw that right in time. Duncan, also a Bitcoin journeyman. You can see there, a little S. So thank you, Duncan. Cheers to you, my friend. So you can zap a coffee and you can say something nice, like Duncan there. Said, morning, Jor, fat zap coffee on me. Right on, right on. Okay, let's keep her going here. Nick says, enjoy the day off. Oh, this is to Santino, maybe? Yep. I'm actually starting another job today to stack even more sats. Cheers. Right on. Right on. Frank, everything infinity divided by 21 million. Good morning, Jor. Good morning, my friend. Tom, good morning. Buck 52. Good to see you. Happy Friday from Duncan, along with his fat zap. And Elvin says, hey, I bought a LIDF, but I can't access the Signal group or Discord. I did send you a message and an email. Oh, living the future. Sorry. LITF, living the future. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm doing my best here. Usually it's about a couple days before I reach out with people for the Signal and other info there. So if you just got it yesterday, you'll probably hear from me in the next couple days. I can only do so much. I'm a one-man show here. Did you get my order? Is that for the Maple Bitcoin hoodie? I don't know. I don't know if I did or not. Where's it going to? I don't know. You'll have to maybe double check that. Clean your machine. Don't want to miss you there. Maybe just shoot me an email. I mean, you could do that too if you're looking for one of the Maple Bitcoin hoodies. We only got 8 left, or 9, 8 or 9, one of the two. But you can just shoot me an email there. Make sure I see it. But they'll be. I'm thinking they'll definitely be sold out by 3 p.m. Eastern time today. So if you are wanting one of the first batch there, make sure you get in on that ASAP. ASAP as possible. Parker, good morning, buddy. Parker's been killing the YouTubes. Very consistent. That's what you need. It's there's not too many. How can I say this? It's not an easy thing to do. I'll tell you that. Starting a YouTube channel is not an easy thing to do. It takes some balls to kind of put yourself out there on the internet. But it also is, you're kind of starting behind the 8 ball when you have a YouTube channel. You have no subscribers, you have no one watching, no one that cares, and you just have to be persistent enough to kind of get through that first hump. So shout out to Parker for the consistency there. That's what it takes. It's not something that can be, I mean, it can be gamed, I guess. But for the most part, it's very equivalent to Bitcoin in the sense of proof of work. And Parker's doing the work. Good morning, Ian. Ian E., my man from Cambridge, UK. Happy stacking. It's sunny here too, Ian, which is good. It's beautiful here today. Watch the sunrise with Arnie Boy. Living in the future. Yeah, that's it. Elvin, I'll try to get that over to you today. I got a ton of freaking things to do today, but I'll do my best to send it over to you quickly. Tom says, just use my speed wallet to collect some Satoshis from Snake. Thanks for the tip, Jor. High score is about 700 so far. Everybody should be playing that. Let's give a shout out to Snake today. I did a video on the channel about, I don't know, last week. But Bitcoin Snake, this is what you want to be putting on your phones today. See my high score there? Where is it? Come on. Come on, camera. You're making me look like a fool here. 2909. That's my high score. But it's very easy. So you get tickets. So you play Snake. You earn tickets there at the top. Mine says 0 right now. What the hell's with this camera? Come on. 0, 59 sats. This is how easy it is. So I got 59 sats on there right now. You just click that. You hook up your speed wallet there. And you press claim. And I just cashed out 59 sats successfully. That's a no-brainer to be playing Snake. Again, I wouldn't, you're not going to make a living off it, you know, but for me, it's the easiest and the least amount of friction to actually earn some sats there. So make sure you can just download it from the App Store. You can click the link there I just shared in the live chat. Where does the yield come from? Yeah, it comes from them getting data from you. You have to connect a Gmail account, I believe. So it comes from them collecting your data and you watching ads. Although you can earn without watching ads on there as well, but you get more tickets, I think, if you watch ads. So that's the trade-off. And that's a good question from Brennan. You always have to ask yourself that. Anytime there's free sats or free anything, there's a yield somewhere. You're paying for it one way or the other. So from my perspective, I don't really care about Google having a little bit more, access to how good I am at Snake. It's worth it to me. The sats are worth it to me. So for a lot of people, they aren't. A lot of people would prefer to be private, not give Google their information. But if you can cash out 59 sats for playing a game, I'm okay with that yield. Jace has got number 21. No, there's been like 3 people who have asked for 21, unfortunately. But I see that 2 people have ordered a hoodie here since the show started. So there we go. So we should have 7 left now. It'd be cool if we sold those out before the show started today. They are within Canada 85,000 sats. So very reasonably priced. They're less expensive than the We Are Right About Bitcoin hoodies, significantly cheaper. So that's for the hoodie and for the shipping within Canada. I think it's 90,000 to the US. So pretty much the same. Yeah, I messaged you guys at Maple. I selected number 1 if it was available. Let me just double check here. Number 1. I don't think so. I got number 1 for somebody else right now. But the numbers don't really matter too much, to be honest with you. Just a fun thing. But yeah, I'm wondering. I got your second email here, though, Cleaner Machine, I believe. Maybe not. No, I didn't. So make sure you reach out. Tom says 39 days on Ember, approaching 60,000 sats. You should put your link up for people. Yeah, my link's in the show notes here for anybody who wants that. But I'm maxed out, so it doesn't. My link doesn't matter too much. I think Jerry's. I shared Jerry Loves Freedom, his link in there, so he could get up to maximum too. Bitcoin Buddha. Good morning, LVO. And look at this. We got 8,888 sats from Clean Your Machine. Fat Zap. Got her here. Thank you, my friend. That was to ARNIE'S Wallet. And look at this. We got our guy BitBilly in the chat. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday, BitBilly. And a couple zaps here from the Zap stream themselves. We got Gray Zapped 121 with a question attached. How important is buying non-KYC? More private, of course, but less convenient. How do you navigate this? That's a great question. I've been fairly consistent with this message. Like, a lot of people obsess with trying to get non-KYC Bitcoin, and that's fair. But at the same time, I think that if we have to worry too much about non-KYC Bitcoin, then Bitcoin hasn't really played out like I expected to. We shouldn't need to do that. That's not the world that we're headed to. That's the world we're in right now, but that's not the world that we're headed to, for one. The other thing I would say to that is that, yes, it is a little bit more difficult, but it is worth it. I think that anytime you can get any sort of capital without anybody knowing that you have that, that is definitely an advantage in life. And that's why I love cash. I love gold and silver for that reason, because you can buy it. I mean, even with gold and silver, like if I were to order some on a website, like Bullion, gold, silver bullion, they still have my credit card information there. They know that I bought that gold. So even with that, they've pretty much KYC'd the gold and silver market. So anytime you can get an asset that nobody else knows that you have it, that's what you want. But don't obsess over it. I would say that regardless of where you are today, just try to get more non-KYC Bitcoin and try to shoot for like 10, 15, 20% of your stack being non-KYC Bitcoin, and pay very close attention to not mixing them together. Because you could go through a bunch of trouble to get some non-KYC Bitcoin, and you make one mistake and that's all attached to you again. You've reattached it. So I'd say it's important, but it's not something to obsess over. So you should be obsessed with getting as many sats as you can, regardless if they're KYC or non-KYC. And if you're looking for non-KYC sats, I would say there's a couple different options that you have. Bitcoin Well has some Bitcoin ATMs within Canada that you can buy up to $1,000 worth of Bitcoin at once. So that's one. You could use RoboSats, which I've been using myself a little bit with my Start9. That's one of the things with the Start9 server that you can do is it's a lot more private. I think you can use RoboSats without your own Start9, but when you have it running off of your own server, it's just kind of another layer of privacy there. So Bitcoin Well, Start9, RoboSats, you can use a program like Bisq, or you can join a community. You can join a community like Living the Future, and you can meet people in there. Whenever somebody wants to sell some Bitcoin, there's going to be somebody who wants to buy it in there, and you can do that. I think that's the best way to do it, in my opinion. But the only way to do that, and here's what everybody has to keep in mind here, is that you do have to take some action. You do have to join a community, and you have to be there for a while. Because for me, if somebody joined Living in the Future tomorrow, I would be slightly hesitant to transact with them. Whereas somebody like Jason or Brennan, who's been part of Living in the Future for a while now, I would be comfortable selling or purchasing Bitcoin from them. So you have to keep that in mind, that the world that we're moving into, when you remove the middleman from the equation, you have to replace that with trust. And the only way you can earn trust is with time. So don't procrastinate. Don't wait until you want to buy or sell some Bitcoin to join a community. Join a community, familiarize yourself, gain their trust, and then when the time comes when you need to, you can transact within the community. That's kind of how I look at it. Brian says, Bitcoin don't give a damn about a global stock drama, holding strong and steady. Yes, that's why I titled the show today, Bitcoiners Are Relentless. We'll get to that in a little bit here. But a couple shout outs here. We got some fat zaps rolling in. We got Daniel zapped. What is this one? 1,888 sats. Fat zap incoming. So thank you, Daniel. Added a 1 to the usual zap there, Daniel. Thank you, my friend. And Wood Butcher, look at this, 2,100 sats. Good morning, y'all, from the Zap streams. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's keep her rolling here. Bitcoin isn't a hedge, it's the solution. Yes, that is absolutely correct. Jason says, I miss the bull Bitcoin post office days. Bitcoin well works well. Bitcoin well works well. Speaking of Bitcoin well, let's give away some Bitcoin while we're on the topic here. But yeah, that was pretty cool when you could go to the post office with some cash and get some non-KYC Bitcoin. I don't think we realized how special that time was. I kind of knew that it would be shut down eventually by the gov. But yeah, those were the days. What do we got here? Why won't that let me see here? Maticated. What is your thoughts on this stuff wrap Bitcoin on other networks? I don't hold it that way, but hear and read about it on Ethereum and Solana. Distraction, not necessary. Tom says, I heard Trump family bought a lot of ETH wrap Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, it's just a way that Bitcoin can transact on other networks, other layers, I guess. But you don't really need that because we have layer 1 and we have Lightning and we have Liquid and we have eCash. So I don't really see the point of it unless you're dealing with shit coins often. There's no need for wrap Bitcoin. No need. Stick with the real stuff. You know, I would argue that strategy is wrap Bitcoin. A lot of people wouldn't look at it that way, and a lot of people who hold strategy would probably disagree with me there. But it's the truth. It's just wrap Bitcoin. It's for people who can't buy Bitcoin with the capital that they have. They within their network, just like if you had Ethereum and you wanted to swap it to Bitcoin, you use wrap Bitcoin. Just like on the stock market, you got capital, you want Bitcoin. Strategy is a wrapped Bitcoin. Agree with me or disagree, don't care, but it's the truth. And you know, I have strategy myself. I'm a strategy owner myself. Although I did sell some more strategy yesterday. This is not financial advice, but I sold a little bit of strategy yesterday. Why? Why, you ask? To buy some GameStop, buy some more GameStop. I think the market is significantly underestimating what GameStop is going to do over the next couple of years. So it's more of a short-term trade for me. I think there's going to be a lot of hype and action around GameStop. So I think GameStop's going to run. I think it's going to outperform MicroStrategy in the short term. I could be wrong. And, you know, this, again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I did. So my plan is to swap it back onto strategy at some point. So hopefully, you know, it's a risk. It's a risk. Definitely not a guarantee. But anyways, let's give away some Bitcoin here, courtesy of the Bitcoin Well. And if you are in Canada or the US, you should absolutely 100% have an account at Bitcoin Well. They're the best in business. So get your Lightning wallets out, and the first person to scan this QR code here is going to win some free sats on this Friday. Ready? Set? Go. $210 sats to some lucky fellow or felly out there. Courtesy of the Bitcoin Well. 3 reasons I love Bitcoin Well. You might already know them, but that's okay. The first one is that they are on Team Bitcoin. They've been around for close to a decade. They have a very good, strong reputation within the Bitcoin space. And I know for a fact that if they were choosing between their users and the government, they would lean towards their users. Just great guys, great team, doing a lot of great things. Second one is the fees. They're the lowest fees I've seen in North America here, period. And the third one is just the website. The wishing well's a pretty cool feature. For one, you sign up for an account with the bitcoinwell.com/Jor link, and you get 5 free tosses into the well. So that's kind of cool. But you can do free swaps on there from layer 1 to layer 2, or vice versa. You can pay bills. You can set up a recurring buy. You can withdraw in Lightning. There's no better platform than Bitcoin Well that I've found. So unfortunately, it's only available in North America here, but they recently added Lightning withdrawals for the US citizens. So definitely get yourself an account at the Bitcoin Well. They do not pay me, but they pay the community here, which I love. Dog shit wrapped in cat shit. That's one way to put it, I guess. Can't say I disagree. And look at this. We just got not quite a fat zap, but a zap nonetheless of 1 sat. And even 1 sat zaps get a shout out here. So thank you for that. VC trash. That's exactly right. Is it represented by actual Bitcoin or is it a derivative? I'm pretty sure it's represented by actual Bitcoin. Like whoever's wrapping the Bitcoin would have the same amount of Bitcoin in reserves. I'm thinking that's the only way that it could actually work. I've never verified that myself, but that's, otherwise it wouldn't be a thing. Nobody would buy it or nobody would use it. Strategy rocks. I agree. That's what you want to be holding for the long-term strategy. Buck 52,000 says, why are fees so high to move sats from Lightning to layer 1? Because it's a Bitcoin transaction. Anytime you're moving Bitcoin, anytime layer 1's involved, there's going to be fees there. So that's why it's an actual transaction with the layer 1 network. So whatever it's based on the how congested the layer 1 network is. If it's dead like it is right now, then it's actually pretty cheap to swap sats from layer 1 to Lightning and vice versa. But when fees are high, that's when it gets really expensive. And that's when people run into issues with like running Lightning nodes when one of the channel force closes and they have to pay the high fees. So it's risky. It's a risky business. And that's why you need to be thinking about this stuff before that actually happens, before the fees get really high. You want to be setting yourself up to be able to transact with Bitcoin without having to pay that on-chain fee. Does that make sense? Ethereum is the mother asshole from which all shitcoins spring forth. Yes. That is the truth. Hey, look at this. Oh, that's the fat zap of the day here has just arrived. The room lit up green. We got 20,999 sats. I'm thinking that was supposed to be 21,000. And maybe 1 sat got deducted somewhere along the way. But 21,000 sats. We'll round it up. Fat Zap Friday Jor and Mum from E&E. Thank you, Ian. That is very, very nice, very generous of you. Going to see Mum today, actually. It's her birthday. So we're all going in. Her sister came in from out west. I'm bringing Grandma with us today. Grandma lives in very close to me here, so we're taking Grandma in, and yeah, it's Mom's birthday today. Sent her a text this morning. I don't know how well she texts right now, but she liked my text. So yeah, we're going to see her tonight. Another trip to the city. I've spent more time in the city in the last month than I have in the last 10 years. But anyways, thank you, Ian. Very, very nice of you. Tom says, Bitcoin Well, check it out. This has rapidly become my favorite podcast on YouTube. Cheers, Tom. Cheers. We're working on it. We're working on it here. We got some chat back and forth there. Happy birthday to your mom. Thank you, Cleaning Machine. Okay, so let's get to a little bit of news here. couple things I wanted to talk about yesterday and some things that I got today. So this was the news from today. Not really, I guess it is news. It's just entertaining more than anything else. Oh, what happened here? Freezing. Are we okay? Okay, we're okay. Happy to mom, buddy. Thank you. Yeah, I don't even know how old she is. And she wouldn't want me to say anyways. So anyways, not the best way, but she's been doing a lot better. She was actually walking the other day, which is a huge step considering all things considered. So hopefully birthday, some family around will keep the spirits high. So here we go. This is from saw this on Twitter today. The gold card.
$5 million. For $5 million, this could be yours. That was the first of the cards. And then, you know what that card is?
Gold card.
It's the gold card. The Trump card, gold card.
Who's the first buyer?
Me.
Who's the second?
I don't know, but I'm the first buyer. It'll be out in about less than 2 weeks, probably. Pretty exciting, right? $5 million.
Oh, there's so much I love about that. I mean, the guy's taking questions from the press on the plane. Who does that? Who does that? But the second thing there, so $5 million if you want to become a U.S. citizen without any more hassle. $5 million, I'd say a pretty good deal. Brilliant, honestly. Like think about the amount of money that's going to bring into the U.S. That's what I love about this. I know, you can say whatever the hell you want about this guy. I don't give a shit. In fact, if you're mad at me, go ahead. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. But this is how countries should be run. I know there's a lot of people mad at Trump right now for a lot of different reasons. I know there's a lot of people mad that he's causing absolute chaos in the markets and crashing the stock market. But this is how countries should be run. You get rid of the bullshit, you cut out the waste, the fraud, you expose it. And not only that, but you increase your revenues. Tariffs are going to increase revenues. Things like this are going to increase revenues for the US. That's what you want. As a US citizen, that is exactly what you should want. The other thing too, though, $5 million, it's a pretty steep price tag. And the thing about that is, think about the investment that's going to bring into the US. If you got $5 million kicking around that you're willing to pay to go to live in the US, you're probably going to be pretty beneficial to the country in terms of the economic sense. But I'm going to wait until it's 5 million sats, and then I'll buy a US citizenship. That's my plan. And it's probably not that far away. And yes, you might say, well, that means that Bitcoin would have to be 100 million bucks. Yep. Because what's 5 million bucks? $5 million of fiat currency that can be printed and created out of nothing, has nothing backing it. It's worthless. $5 million, worthless. Truth. 5 million sats, on the other hand, 5 million pieces of the most scarce asset that has ever existed. So it's only a matter of time before that happens. And when that happens, I will gladly spend 5 million sats to become to get a citizenship in the US. I might not even need to if we become the 51st state. But anyways, pretty cool. BitBilly says, Jor, what do you think about Jack Dorsey's comments about Bitcoin being used for everyday transactions? How do you feel about him overall? Ooh, those are two really good questions. So let's maybe start with how I feel about him overall. I go back and forth a lot. Not a lot. I think that overall he's a very net positive for Bitcoin. I think there's a lot more to Jack Dorsey than we know. Of all the theories that I've heard about people being Satoshi, I would say that Jack Dorsey would be the closest one for me. And there's a lot of different, when I heard the theory of it and all the reasons behind it, I'd say 90% of it is complete bullshit and, totally irrelevant. But there are things about Jack's past that make me believe that he could be. And I also don't think that Satoshi was one person. I think that it was a group of people. A couple people were actually in charge of putting things into motion, but I think that Jack was involved in that process. So he's done a lot. He's done a lot for Bitcoin. He's done a lot for things like nostr and open source development, which is a huge net positive for this space overall and for decentralization of the world. So overall, I think he's a massive net positive for Bitcoin and for the world. One of the main things that I don't like about Jack, and a lot of people don't like him because of what happened in 2020. I think a lot of that was completely out of his control. I don't think he had any sort of influence of what actually happened there. But my only real concern with Jack is how close he is with Jay-Z. And that could be just me overthinking things here. I've talked about this on the show before, but I don't think that Jay-Z is a great person. I think that there's a lot of bad things that he's done. Just like all the entertainers, Hollywood, anybody who gets to that level of fame has done something that is disgusting, or several things, or hundreds of things. So Jack is very close with Jay-Z, and I don't know what their relationship is like. I'm not here to speculate. It's just something that, makes me, it balances things out for me a little bit. But overall, based on that thesis, I would say that he's a really good thing for the world. So that's my thoughts on him overall. I love Jack. I think he's anytime that there's an interview with Jack, I listen to it. I think that his outlook on how the world should be in terms of open source and anyone being able to build on platforms, that's kind of what he wanted. That's what his vision was with Twitter. But he also has really good thoughts on like leadership and processes and building. So I very much respect his opinion on a lot of that stuff, and I appreciate all that he's done. But in terms of Bitcoin being used for everyday transactions, I 1000% agree with that. I actually posted a video yesterday called "Bitcoin is meant to be spent." And it was somebody on the show yesterday actually who said people are going to regret zapping and sending so many sats around. And I said, no, people are actually going to regret not doing that enough. Buying Bitcoin and storing it away doesn't do anything for anybody. I mean, yeah, you're probably going to do better for your family in the future because of that, but you're not helping things. You're not helping push adoption. Bitcoin is a currency. It's a payment network, and it's a store of value. It's a medium of exchange, store of value, and a payment network. And for it to be fully utilized as it should be, it has to be doing all three of those things. It can't just be used as a store of value. It would decrease the utility of Bitcoin in the long term. And we have the ability. And that's kind of what I said, is that, you might look at this and say, well, whoever just sent your 2,100 sats is an idiot, because those 2,100 sats are going to be extremely valuable in the future, which is true. But in today's purchasing terms, it's $2. So that's your way of saying thank you for me showing up here. And in your sense, if you sent a zap, you think that I'm adding value to the world, to the Bitcoin network here. So that's a way to send $2 worth of value to somebody else using a QR code without anybody's permission, with zero fees, and happens instantaneously. And again, I really think that people are underestimating how powerful of an idea that is and what kind of impact that's going to have on the future. The fact that you can send anybody, anywhere, value instantly for almost zero cost without anybody's permission, that is such a big idea. And if we're just buying Bitcoin and putting it away, it defeats the purpose of that. Again, Bitcoin, look at the white paper, peer-to-peer electronic cash, not digital gold. So I absolutely agree with Jack there. Absolutely agree. Ian says, my dad is 76 tomorrow. Yeah. His golfing out mom or golfing with mom. Wow, that's good. That's why I love golf so much, is because you can enjoy it at any age. But anyways, happy birthday to your dad, Ian. Sabian, folks need to stop measuring Bitcoin with worthless paper dollars. Paper is not money. 100%. Dorsey is beyond maximalist, so his takes are going to be way beyond the fringe. It is possible to be too clever. Yeah, that's true. That is true. You don't want to be the smartest guy in the room, because then you're in the wrong room. But in the case of Dorsey, where does he hang out then? I guess on Nostr. Lapad, good morning, Fat Zap Friday. I'm thinking that was, hold on. Let me get the thing off of here. Oh, no. Never mind. Ahsoka, that's where the zap came from. Ahsoka zapped 88 sats. Thank you, Ahsoka, over on the Zap stream. But good morning, Lapad. People always move and spend Bitcoin. It's not a worry. Yeah. But we can still, we can accelerate it. We have the ability. That's kind of my whole message here, is that Bitcoin at this point is absolutely inevitable, objectively, as long as it stays decentralized and secure. That's a good caveat, I guess, but it's inevitable. And so we have the power to decide how fast adoption is and who owns the coins. And that's why it's so important. If you do need to spend Bitcoin, which hopefully a lot of people are spending Bitcoin, because if you're not spending your Bitcoin, you have too many dollars. That's my take on it. But if you're spending your Bitcoin, make sure that you are selling it to, either spending it on a Bitcoin vendor, or you're selling it to other Bitcoiners. Because when we lose grip of that Bitcoin, when you send it back to the exchange, the individuals are never getting that back. It's going to go straight up into the BlackRock vacuum. Neo, stock market is getting annihilated. Bitcoin is holding strong. Never seen this before. Something is definitely up. I don't think that something's up. It's just they're two completely different assets. Right? Because when you think about the stock market, what's happening there? First of all, the majority of companies on the stock market are significantly overvalued. If you look at a lot of their PE ratios, they're between 20, 30, 40. I think NVIDIA was up to 50 at one point, which means that whatever you bought one share of NVIDIA, it would take you 50 years based on their earnings, 50 years to recoup your investment. And do you know how many people just hold NVIDIA through one way or another, whether they actually hold the stock or they own the S&P or some other index that holds NVIDIA? 50 years to get that investment back. I think it's down to like 30 now, but even 30. You compare that to Bitcoin, it's 2 years. I know there's no PE ratio in Bitcoin because there's no earnings, but historically, based on the compound annual return of Bitcoin, the PE ratio would be 2. And when you're allocating your capital, you want the PE ratio, your return on investment, to be low. So you compare Bitcoin to NVIDIA, it's not even a thing. Plus, the other part about that too, I'm going to pick on NVIDIA here, because they have about 80 or 90% of the market share, which means there's pretty much nowhere to go but down, especially with technology and how things are accelerating here. There's nowhere for them to go but down. And that's one of the biggest stocks in the world. Again, most people hold that stock either knowingly or unknowingly. But here's the other thing: all those companies in the stock market, they are creating products that can be created to infinity. iPhones, perfect example. Apple. If there's enough supply, or if there's enough demand for iPhones, they're going to make more iPhones. And as technology improves, those iPhones should get cheaper and cheaper to produce. With Bitcoin, none of that matters. There's in the stock market, I would say that they're creating items that can be, and as the world shifts towards more decentralization, I believe that every house or at least every neighborhood is going to have a 3D printer, which is going to make a lot of these bigger companies obsolete over time. Plus, now with Bitcoin, you unlock the entire world. So somebody in a different country could now start selling products or services. And before they actually needed a bank account, now they can accept Bitcoin. So the whole thing is shifting here to things that can be created out of nothing or to infinity into something that is very scarce, finite, and decentralized. So the fact that the stock market and Bitcoin were so correlated for so long was only because people don't understand Bitcoin. They're not comparable. Bitcoin is far superior. And that's the thing too. And we actually did a show yesterday with Maple Bitcoin, a clip. I think it'll probably come out sometime next week. But we talked about that and how different they are. And not a lot of Bitcoiners compare Bitcoin to stocks. People like to compare Bitcoin to real estate, to gold, to other scarce items because that's, their main competitor. But at the same time, when people, how can I say this? When as more and more people understand what's happening here, obviously the demand for Bitcoin is going to grow. But yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought there. I don't know why. Too many beers, I guess, this week. It'll come back. Too many things on my mind right now. I'm trying my best. And that's all we can ask for. So we were talking about it on Maple Bitcoin. I don't know. Oh, that's where I was going with it. Was that a lot of people compare Bitcoin to gold, real estate, other stores of value. But, when people are investing, investing is just basically allocating capital, right? Which means you go to work, you add value to the world. Anything you earn in excess of your expenses is what you're trying to store there. So yes, you could put it into a store of value. And a lot of people consider like Apple, Nvidia, stock market, S&P to be a store of value. So every time you're investing, you're allocating your capital. And people do have the choice between owning the stock market, the S&P or a certain stock, or just buying Bitcoin. And to me, it's insane that there's so many people out there who pay a financial advisor for that excess capital that they have to manage that for them. Because not only are they just barely keeping up with inflation, with the average returns on the market when it's good, like the stock market's peaked. It's the highest it's ever been. And people are still only making like 10% returns on that. Plus, inflation is probably 12%, 15%. So they're actually losing net. And then they have to pay somebody a fee to manage that for them. Whereas with Bitcoin, literally all you have to do is buy it and learn how to store it and don't do anything. The best thing you can do in Bitcoin is nothing. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. So yeah, it makes sense that the stock market is going to crash while Bitcoin holds up. Bitcoin is relentless. And I was actually going to title the show today, Bitcoin is relentless. But then I was thinking like Bitcoin isn't relentless. Bitcoin is just a protocol. It's Bitcoiners who are relentless. And I'll share this because I've been reading a book called Relentless for the last, I don't know, month. I do about 10 pages every morning before I turn on my cell phone. But this was the quote that I found in Relentless today, and I thought it was a perfect way to describe Bitcoiners. And the quote was, being relentless means having the courage to say, I'm going for this, and if I'm wrong, I'll make a change, and I'll still be fine. And I feel like that's the mentality of a Bitcoiner. So in that sense, Bitcoiners are relentless. And I can't speak for you, but from my own experience here in Bitcoin, that is something that I've gone through myself recently. I've had people say, Jor, what if you're wrong about Bitcoin? What are you going to do? What's your backup plan? And my answer is, if I'm wrong, I'll adjust. If I'm wrong, I'll go get a job. And I'm not saying, I'm not working right now. This is the hardest I've ever worked in my entire life. But if I'm wrong and Bitcoin fails, I'll just go get a job and I'll work to pay for whatever I need to live off of. So like worst case, yeah, I'm wrong. I don't think I am, but if I am, I'll adjust and I'll be fine. But I'd much rather take that risk than just be like everybody else. So Bitcoiners are relentless. And we're seeing signs of that right now. Because as the market's freaking out, as everything else is crashing, nobody's selling their Bitcoin. Haven't even thought about it. It doesn't even cross. I'm at the point now where I don't even care what the price is. Every morning we used to start the show talking about what the price is, what it was 4 years ago. Who cares? It's a waste of time. Let's talk about other stuff. Billy, Jor is the friggin' man at answering our questions. Well, thanks. I hope that made sense anyways. But we did see a fat zap here from LaughPad over on the Zap stream. Fat. 8,888 sats, our favorite number here on the channel. And the comment just said fat. Love that. Thank you, LaughPad. Does anyone know Sailor's take on Dorsey? I'm sure he's jealous of him. I'm sure he's jealous of him. I know Sailor's done a lot of things, but so has Jack. I know they did interviews together in 2022, but how does he feel today? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like you have literally two sides of the scale here. Sailor really pushes the store of value of Bitcoin. Dorsey really pushes the medium of exchange part of Bitcoin. I think you need both because that's the whole beauty of Bitcoin. And that's what makes it so special is that it's both the perfect store of value and the perfect medium of exchange. And it runs on a completely decentralized, transparent, and trustless network that audits itself every 10 minutes. You can't beat that. That's perfect money, the closest thing to perfect. So you need both. You need Sailor, you need Dorsey. Both have very valid points. I don't think one is right, one is wrong. I think that they're both right. And that's what makes Bitcoin so special. Bird Meta, good morning. Bought an Avalon Nano S miner in Bitcoin. 6 terahash per second. Whew. I'm not too familiar with myself with like how much this thing pumps out, but that sounds like pretty I don't even know where the thing is right there. Sounds pretty impressive. Likes are lagging. Rick and Arn are unimpressed, folks. Yeah, that's okay. We're not here for the likes or the subs. We're here to turn more green lights on. LaughPad says, trying to convince myself not to sell my truck and start leasing. Keep truck, DCA the lease money. So LaughPad said, trying to convince myself not to sell my truck, start leasing. Yeah, I mean, this is the strategy from Jay. Keep the truck, DCA the lease money. But I'm guessing unless the truck's fully paid off, you probably have a loan payment anyway. So there wouldn't be much to DCA there. I could be wrong though. It's what I've been doing for a couple of years, but I'm still thinking about selling it. I mean, that's the other thing too. If you sold it, you'd have a large chunk, a lump sum that you could sink into Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin at 82K is absolutely the deal of a lifetime. Absolutely the deal of a lifetime. It is insane. Do you think there's a chance the powers that be dumped the entire old system under Trump's watch to make him the fall guy? No. Who's the powers that be? Trump is intentionally trying to crash the stock market right now. Somebody asked him, the tariffs are crashing the stock market. Here, let me find it quickly. If you think that somebody has the ability to crash the stock market and make Trump look like the fall guy, I think we're living in, I mean, I don't know. I guess I say that with a lot of things, but I think we're living in a different world. Because Trump is planning, his main thing here is he wants a weaker dollar. He wants interest rates to go down. He wants this to happen. He wants Bitcoin to succeed. That's the part that people are missing here. This is literally his plan. What's happening right now is literally Trump's plan. Oh, I missed a lot on here. Shit. Right here. Let me, actually, I'll just bring it up instead of showing you on the screen here. Okay, when was this? April 3rd. It'll take me too long to scroll through. Copy. Send. Hey, by the way, BitBilly, I don't know if you're still here or not, but did you get the package that I sent yet? Just shoot me a text when you get it. I'm sure you will anyways, but I just want to make sure it gets there. A little care package from Canada with love. Okay, sending. I don't know why I did that. I took an extra 5 seconds to remove the tracking on that link that I shared with myself, just to have it. Okay, so let's watch this and let's see what Trump has to say about it, about this question. I mean, it's a fair question. I don't mean to come off here. It's a valid question, and I'm sure there's a lot of people kind of wondering the same if that's a possibility. But when you understand what Trump's trying to do here and who actually has the power right now, think differently a little bit about it.
The markets today are way down. The worst day in years because of the tariffs. So how's it going? I think it's going very well. It was an operation, like when a patient gets operated on, and it's a big thing. I said this would exactly be the way it is. We have $6 or $7 trillion coming into our country, and we've never seen anything like it. The markets are going to boom. The stock is going to boom. The country is going to boom. And the rest of the world wants to see, is there any way they can make a deal? They've taken advantage of us for many, many years. For many years, we've been at the wrong side of the ball. And I'll tell you what, I think it's going to be unbelievable. The thing that people have to talk about, we're up almost to $7 trillion of investment coming into our country. And you'll see how it's going to turn out. Our country's going to boom. The markets today are way down. The worst day in years because of the tariffs. So how's it going? I think it's going very well. It was an operation, like when a patient gets operated on, and it's a big thing. I said this would exactly be the way it is. We have.
It's an operation. It's happening exactly like I said it was going to happen. So do you think that he's mad about what's happening right now? Or do you think he's happy about how things are playing out? It's all by design. But we got to take a quick break here because we just received one of the fattest zaps in show history here. And maybe even though there's been higher zaps than this one, I think is one to remember because it is 5 8s, 8,000, 88,000. I'm used to saying 8,000, 88,888 sats. Zap, you demand. So I don't know 100% who that was, but I have a pretty good idea. And that's the first time that's ever happened, believe it or not. The first time we've had, oh, never mind. It's on Zapstream. BitBilly. We don't have to speculate. 88,888 sats from our guy BitBilly on Zapstream. That is, that's what we're talking about. BitBilly, my man. Fucking awesome. Fucking awesome. Thank you, BitBilly. Thank you. Thank you. Albin says, do you have a normal 9-to-5 job? No. If I had a 9-to-5 job right now, I would be 6 feet underground. I have an unnormal 6 a.m. till about 9 p.m. job right now. But it's doing what I love doing. So it doesn't feel like work to me. It's just tough because this is the thing that I'm struggling with most right now, is that I've taken on a lot of stuff, and I don't know if anybody even gives a shit about this, but this is a good lesson, I think, for anybody who's going to be maybe thinking about starting their own business or doing their own thing in the future. I'm working on a lot of different things right now, and I was kind of able to juggle them as best I could anyways, without falling too far behind. But I think of it very similar to like how I do most things, right? So if I had a meeting somewhere that was in 30 minutes from now, I wouldn't leave until 30 minutes before, assuming that there's going to be no traffic, assuming that there's going to be no issues. I'm going to hit every green light. That's how I have lived my life. And I don't think it's a good thing, but that I was doing the same kind of thing with business stuff here, with my life. And so I was pretty much, running at full speed in terms of nothing could go wrong for me to continue going. And of course, when something does happen, like what happened with my mom, it just throws a wrench into everything. So now I'm way behind on a lot of things. And so I apologize if there's anybody out there who has reached out to me, emailed me, and I haven't got back to you yet. It's for that reason. So I'm doing my best. I promise. But, that's just, I brought it on myself. I took on as all I could. I was full to the top, and I probably could have continued if nothing went wrong. But the reality is in life that there are red lights. There's traffic. There's snow on the ground. There's icy roads. So I don't know. We'll make it work though. I just need a little bit more time to catch up on everything. But no, I don't have a job. Left my job, left my career. Haven't spent one single second regretting that decision. LaughPad, 82K Bitcoin. I'm scrambling to find fiat. It's insane. The lump sum is what I'm interested in. Yeah, I mean, that's where you want to get to. You want the lump sums. I mean, it's nice to have the DCAs coming in regularly, but if you can get a lump sum at 82K, you're laughing. Bren says, I heard a take on intrinsic value for all the shifts of the world. There's no such thing. Value is subjective and never objective. That is absolutely true. Absolutely true. Interest rates too high to refinance the U.S. debt? Yes. Need the 10-year to lower? Yes. That's exactly what he's doing right now. Because the Fed's going to be forced to print. Everything that's happening right now is by design. It's an operation, as Trump said. It's an operation, which means they're doing it intentionally because they need interest rates to come down. They want the Fed to print money, and the Fed is not listening to them, but they're not going to have a choice. So in my eyes, Trump is not at war with anybody, no other countries. They're at war with the Fed. And Trump, from very early on in his first administration, made it clear that he wanted to get rid of the Fed, wanted to get rid of the central banks. He has a picture of Andrew Jackson right behind his head in the Oval Office. Like, just connect some dots here on your own. This stuff isn't rocket science or rocket appliance, like Ricky would say from Trailer Park Boys. This isn't rocket appliances here. This is just connect some dots. Bag of weed. I don't know what this is in relation to, but We'll highlight it. If you gave Schiff a bag of weed, he wouldn't know how to use it and nobody to sell it to. Therefore, he would say that it had no value and that weed is going to zero. Yep. That's true. BitBilly, great guy. No doubt. What a nice gesture for the Friday. BitBilly says, got to move them sats. That's right. That's what we got to do. I'll go out of my way today to zap around some of those sats back into the nostr ecosystem. But thank you, BitBilly. Fucking awesome. M. Vincent says, would you lump 50K at today's prices or DCA at 1K over several weeks? 100% without a doubt, lump 50K today. Without a doubt. Do you know why? Because it's very clear that this is the floor for Bitcoin. Yes, it might go down to 75, 70K. It might happen. It probably won't, but it might happen. But if you're DCAing, the amount that you're going to get from it dropping like that isn't going to be significant. But let's say that it went to 100 and then 150 and then 200 over several weeks. You're going to miss out on a lot of sats there. And you're going to have to worry about it. You're going to have to be looking at the price for the next several weeks. Take whatever you have today, put it into Bitcoin, and then DCA from there. That's what I would say. You're not gonna gain much by taking that strategy, but you have the potential to lose a bunch of sats by taking that approach, that route. Depends on your stomach. If you're an experienced long-term investor, it doesn't really matter. If you're new to holding volatile assets, DCA will make you feel a lot better. That's true. But I'd go right off the hop, plunk it in there. I'd say two things to that. If you're looking for somewhere to buy the 50K, there are preferred. I wouldn't use Coinbase. I wouldn't use Kraken. I wouldn't use something like that. There are certain exchanges like Bitcoin Well, I believe River too. You can buy larger amounts and get a preferred rate for buying larger. So the other thing too, that's if you want to take custody of it, if you're experienced enough to take custody of that 50K worth of Bitcoin. The other thing you could do is just buy the ETF. And you're going to get the price exposure to Bitcoin. And then you can kind of, in the meantime, figure out how to protect that Bitcoin and eventually move it out of the ETF and into your own self-custody. So if you're somebody out there listening to the show today and you want some advice and some guidance on where to allocate that, if you have a large purchase, just shoot me an email. I got a couple different routes depending on what country you're in, and you're going to get a lower rate. You're going to have somebody help you with it, a real human. And, when you're talking big purchases like that, the rates make a big difference. Like when you're talking 50K, 100K worth of Bitcoin, the difference between 2% and 1.5%, the amount of sats that you're going to save there, that's significant. So that's what I'd say for anybody who's looking to get in a big way. Just check with me first, and you might go in a different direction, but I'll give you some advice. Did you see a close-up of the gold card Trump showed on Air Force One? It's a laminated piece of paper. Yeah, he's probably sending a message there, eh? Papa Powell going to have to kiss the ring. Yep. BitBilly is the king fat zapper. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Powell's going to need a new job once there's no fiat to manipulate anymore. Yep. Albin says, is air gap multisig only secure for offline attacks? Is air gap multisig only secure for offline attacks? No. It's secure for online attacks. That's kind of the bigger reason for doing an air gap. It protects you, and multisig too. Multisig would protect you if one of your wallets were to get hacked, if somebody gained access to your laptop or your phone, something like that. If you have that in a single sig wallet, you're fucked. But if you have it in a multi-sig and somebody's able to hack your device or your phone or your laptop, they can't do anything with it because they need two signatures there. So that's the point of a multi-sig, is it not only protects you from offline attacks if your house were to burn down and your device went up in flames, but also for online attacks. If your wallet was compromised, they can't do anything with it because it's in a multi-sig. They need 2 devices, 2 signatures to move any of your Bitcoin. More secure than a single sig air gapped. Yeah, for that reason. Because if somebody accessed your single sig wallet somehow, maybe you screwed up somewhere along the way, your Bitcoin's gone. Everything that you worked for all this time, energy, everything that you put into Bitcoin, gone. That's why you don't want to, if you got a significant stack of Bitcoin, you should 1000% at least have it in a multi-sig, minimum. And then you talk about encryption afterwards, encrypting your recovery phrases. But yeah, I think if you got more than half a Bitcoin, you should be in multi-sig today. Jan, do you like buying on Fold? I'm not in America. I'm in Canada. I'm in the great white north. There's no Fold apps here, but I do use ShakePay, which is pretty much the Canadian equivalent of Fold. And yes, I'm actually going to be doing a little experiment here on my on the show, either here on Maple Bitcoin. I'm not 100% sure yet, but the idea that I'm going to introduce, I actually heard the guy from Fold talking about it, and I've had this happen in my own life where I thought this through. Basically, the point of it is that if you use something like Fold or ShakePay, I pay for everything with my ShakePay Visa card. Why? Because I earn sats back. I earn 1%. I think you get 2% for the first 5K, but after that, it drops down to 1,000 or 1%. So this was my logic. I thought I needed new tires. It was about $2,000. So I paid with my ShakePay Visa for the tires, and I wrote down how many sats I got back from that purchase. I think it was like 20,000 sats, something like that. So I paid for my tires in fiat. I got sats back with my ShakePay Visa card. And at one point here in the future, the sats that I got back on that purchase will actually be worth more than the tires that I bought. So that's what I do with everything now. I pay for literally everything with my ShakePay Visa card. For that reason, because one day the rewards that I got back, the sats I got back, are going to exceed what I actually paid for the item. Could be tires, could be a new set of golf clubs, could be anything. But the sats back that I get is going to be worth more in the future than the actual money that I paid for it, which is crazy. But that's how it is. Bitcoin's crazy. Big shout out. This looks like it was, I'm guessing by the amount here, somebody bought me a coffee. Can usually tell by the amount. It's 1 sat off from Dunkin's. So 3,642 sats. So somebody sent a coffee. No message though. So make sure if you're sending a coffee, if you want to, I guess you don't have to. I love anonymous zaps, but I still also love giving props to people who are supporting the channel here. So shout out to whoever zapped me a coffee, and I'll post the link again in case anybody else wants to. You don't need nostr. As long as you get a Lightning wallet with some sats in it, you can zap a coffee. What you're saying isn't true for multi-sig if you add a passphrase. I'm not sure what you mean there. What part did I say that was wrong? What you're saying isn't true for a multi-sig if you add a passphrase. That it's the multi-sig's more secure? Yeah. I mean, you're probably right. And I have no issues with the passphrase. The problem is you still have to store your passphrase somewhere that's secure. So there's downsides to it. And the biggest thing is that you have to leave that passphrase somewhere, and you don't want to memorize it. You don't want to have to memorize that. I'm not against passphrases. I think the passphrases are part of the evolution of security. I think you go from a hot wallet to cold storage with a passphrase into multi-sig encrypted. That's kind of the setup there. Let me just, I'll bring something up here quickly if I can find it. Lapad says you can load a medium-sized UTXO onto each of the multi-sig. So if any of the wallets get hacked, you know, because the sats get depleted. Ooh, that's canary in the coal mine. That's a smart route. I never thought about that before. You can also have your home server monitor and alert. I don't know about that one. I've never heard of that either. You can have your home server monitor and alert. What would that look like? I know it's kind of hard to say a whole bunch in a chat, but so you can load a medium-sized UTXO onto each of the multi-sig wallets. So if any of the wallets gets hacked, you know, because the sats get depleted. Interesting. Yeah, because you could technically here have a cold card, like a single sig cold card, which in this case, Lappad's saying if you had a cold card, you could load one UTXO medium-sized one into there. I wouldn't put too much in there, but a decent amount. So you have a cold card, single sig, you put some sats in there, and then you use that cold card as well, the same private key. You would generate a new wallet to multi-sig using that key as one of the signatures in the multi-sig. And so if somebody were to hack that, they wouldn't necessarily know that it was hooked up to a multi-sig, but you would know because the sats would be gone. That's fucking smart. That's like next level. That's like James Bond shit. Love that. Okay, sorry, Zapstream. I'm missing a bunch over there. Is there anything like Fold or ShakePay in Europe or Asia? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. But on that note, if you're in Canada, I need to get a Fold. Do I have Fold? No, I don't. And I feel like I've asked this before too. But anyways, if you're in Canada, make sure that you get ShakePay. Obviously, I wouldn't be buying Bitcoin with ShakePay, but absolutely set up the Visa card there and pay for everything with it. Especially if you're a business owner. I pay for all these hats, all of our hoodies. I pay for them with my ShakePay Visa card. So I'm getting sats back for business expenses. Can't ask for anything more than that. So make sure if you're in Canada, you're using ShakePay for all of your purchases. Buck52 says, listening in my car, getting gas. Innocent people are getting educated. Yeah, that's true. Lapat says, Jory, you should totally get it. 1% sats back on buying shit means when Bitcoin goes 100x. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's exactly what I'm saying. Oh, sorry. Lapad says, Jory, you totally get it. I read it was totally should get it. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. It just makes so much sense. Oh, Galaxy Tile. That's where that was from. Thank you, my friend. 3,642 sats, a coffee. Appreciate that. How should I secure Bitcoin rewards? One fun thing I've been doing is I actually just created a Coinos wallet, like a Lightning wallet, Coinos. You could do a Speed too. But I just send everything that I get for rewards for like Ember, for Snake, for the Coinbase one. What is it? Smiles? All of them. I send them to the free wallet just so I can kind of track and see how much I've made through the years. You don't have to do that, but just get it onto a Lightning wallet and then move it onto cold storage eventually, just like you'd secure any Bitcoin. Sorry, I meant single sig. Okay, so let's read that. What you're saying isn't true for single sig if you add a passphrase. Yeah, I mean passphrase is solid. Let me find this quickly, if I can. Where is it? Where are you? There we go. Single sig. Okay, so this is kind of my Shitty view here, but we'll take a quick look at this. So this is my comparison of like setups. It's not perfect, but I just made it quickly one day. So if we compare single sig wallets here on steel with a passphrase. So in a fire or a flood, if you had a single sig wallet in your house and you had your passphrase also somewhere in that house, then you're toast. That's why it's 50-50. So you could have your passphrase stored somewhere else off-site. But if you have it all together, which most people would, if you have your device and your passphrase in your house and your house burns down, that's not a very good thing. That's where multi-sig's better, because that's only one key out of 3 that has been destroyed. So you wouldn't get hacked in this case, but you would lose your Bitcoin because your device and your passphrase just burnt. Break-in, same kind of thing. Trust required, no. Flexible, yes. Untraceable. Untraceable would be the same kind of thing. So that means that you wouldn't be able to have a single sig wallet with a passphrase and not have that in your house anywhere. So those are kind of the 2 main drawbacks of using a single sig with a passphrase over using a multi-sig. But then as you can see here, multi-sig with super backed encryption, that checks all the boxes. Protects you against fire, flood, protects you against break-ins, protects you against hacks and social engineering. It's untraceable, can be untraceable. There's no trust required, and it is extremely flexible. So this is where you want to get to. That's the goal. Multi-sig with super backed encryption with an inheritance plan built into that. So if you're at the stage there, I know a lot of people aren't, but if you're at the stage where you want the absolute best form of security for your Bitcoin, then reach out. Put super backed in the title, and I'll send you some info. And if you are wanting to chat more, you can just set up a call. So joar@bitcoincitadel.net. We are the only Bitcoin advisory company that offers the super backed solution right now. Okay, it's 10 o'clock here, folks. We got to maple Bitcoin in 3 hours here, I think. And then I got to go back into the city. So I got to hit the road here right away. I do want to get caught up, though, on Zapstream quickly. BitBilly says, I suck at nostr. Love reading it and enjoy everyone's conviction, but I never know what to add or say. I had never really done social media before, so that might be my problem. BitBilly says, I buy large amounts using Strike. Love it. Works great. There you go. And Josh says, yes, this is great advice. Just share your musings, BitBilly. Pictures of stuff that interests you or your hobbies. That's what I do. That's what I do as well. I have no sort of strategy on nostr. I just post whatever I want to post. Some people might like it. Some people might not give a shit. But for the people who do, they can send some sats if they want to. But yeah, that's great advice from Josh. Just post about whatever you're interested in. There's probably going to be more people out there who are in the same. Do you own anything other than Bitcoin? QQQ, Tesla, MicroStrategy, are you 100% in? No, any money that I had in the old system, I allocated to Bitcoin companies. So I have Strategy, I have GameStop, I have Bitcoin Well. I don't know why I'm sharing all my investments with you, but whatever. And I have, I've been buying a small amount of shares of any companies that go onto a Bitcoin standard or buy Bitcoin. So I think there's like a whiskey company that I bought, Cooler. I sold my Semler though, and I bought MicroStrategy with it. But so I try to. I don't own anything that isn't to do with Bitcoin though. And anytime I have cash outside of the system, I buy Bitcoin. I would never buy stocks over Bitcoin in self-custody. Do you think someone will make a hardware device that's specifically intended to be second? Yes. Intended to be a second signature to a cold wallet and nothing else. Yes. In fact, the guy that I work with for SuperBacked, Craig, he's been developing something like this for a couple of years now. It's pretty cool. So essentially what that would do, because with SuperBacked, you have to get an old laptop, you rip out the hard drive, you run the software on a secure USB, you turn off the internet, so it's a fully air-gapped device. That's how it works. So what he would be doing there is instead of somebody having to buy a laptop and do all that, the modifications to it, you would just have a device, a fully air-gapped, never touches the internet device that stores your recovery phrase in an encrypted manner. So yes, it's probably coming soon. And that's why I would say act with a little bit of urgency here, because number one, our prices are probably going to go up soon and probably significantly. We're going to get very busy, I think. And there's just going to be a whole slew of things that come with waiting. So if you are somebody who is interested in that, I would say act sooner than later. You want a guy like Craig on your team. You got to take this stuff seriously. Anyway, somebody else zapped another coffee. Look at that. 3,657 sats. So we got a little bit more. Bitcoin must have dropped between those two coffees because we got 15 more sats for this one. So this is for 100 coffees in the future. I love that. Thank you. I'm sorry, folks. I can't continue very much longer here. I've had too much coffee. Let's just say that. And look at that. Into the Orange says, turning off YouTube. We'll try to watch here going forward. Love that. Love that. Okay. Let's just buzz through these here quickly. And then we'll hit the road. Okay, so Laughpad says you build a script with an AI bot that checks each XPub in a multi-sig for sats using your own node. Okay, sorry, I don't have I don't have the brain capacity for this right now, Laughpad, but that's very interesting, and I appreciate the insights there. Jay says between SatsBack, Daily Shake Squad, and daily interest paid in Bitcoin, ShakePay is a great way to stack. 100%. Jason says the other great thing about ShakePay is that you can fund the Visa, so no big credit card balances at the end of the month. Yes, it's a very good way to budget. If you know how much you're going to spend that month, you put it into your ShakePay app, and it's like a prepaid Visa that you get sats back for. And they got great merch. Yes, that is true as well. Passphrase can be the name of your kid, easy to remember. I agree. That kind of defeats the purpose of the passphrase, though, especially if the attacker is sophisticated. So you want your passphrase to be not too hard, not too easy, but somewhere in between, like the Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Oh, there you go, Laughpad. Sent you 100 coffees in the future. Thank you, my friend. Double fad zap from Laughpad today. Week and a half is tax day, I bet, after Bitcoin bounces to the moon. Yeah, probably. Once people start getting some of their interest-free loans to the government back. Fucking crazy that people are okay with that. Grab some Bitcoin while stock, but not too optimistic about it. Yeah, that's kind of me too, because I don't think that Bitcoin exchanges are going to be around forever. But yeah, it's like 11 cents for a share. And I love Bitcoin well. I think that they're going to do very well in the short term. Long term, I don't know. But they hold Bitcoin now too, which was a big selling feature for me. GameStop is not a Bitcoin company at the moment. They should push the buy button soon before we are back at 100K. Agree. And I saw that Ryan Cohen actually bought a bunch of stock. Yeah, I think it was 500 million worth of stock yesterday. So he's bullish on the strategy. Whatever they're doing there, he's bullish on it. Boy Bata. Lifeboat, Joe, I thought you have an assistant who's lazy, but now I know. I appreciate you. Hope you can get to my email before Satoshi's birthday. Hey, isn't Satoshi's birthday tomorrow? Sorry, I didn't see your, I mean, I probably did see your email, but yeah. And I appreciate that. When is Satoshi's birthday? I think it's tomorrow. Yeah, April 5th. Satoshi Nakamoto, the pseudonymous, there we go, creator of Bitcoin, claimed their Bitcoin to be April 5th, 1975, which they entered when registering their pseudonym with the P2P Foundation. So that's what it says. That's where they registered it, the peer-to-peer foundation. So we don't know if it's right, but that's the official birthday of Satoshi. So yes, hope you can get to my email before tomorrow. I'll do my best. I'll do my best. But yes, it's hard. I got to get an assistant here soon, I think, or at least some sort of help. I'm drowning. Frank, good morning. Folsom, daily interaction. How do we know it's his birthday? There we go. Just told you. Beat you to it. When you know, Ryan Cohen. That's right. Okay, so a couple things before we go. I think we have about 6 or 7 hoodies left for Maple Bitcoin. So if you don't want to wait to be outbid, I would send us an email before 2 p.m. Eastern time today. And they're pretty nice hoodies. I've worn mine a couple different times here on the show. Super comfortable too. The only thing for me about it is, it's navy, which I love navy myself. Obviously, you can see in the screen here, but black, white, black or gray usually sells a little bit better than navy because they just go with more stuff. But overall, like I just love this whole thing kind of came together so organically with Maple Bitcoin. In terms of like the logo, in terms of like the branding, the image there, it just worked out perfectly. It's kind of weird. But anyways, yeah, if you want to grab one of these before they are officially announced on the show today, that's what they look like. So you can grab one of those. Just shoot an email to maplebitcoinpod@gmail.com right there. maplebitcoinpod@gmail.com before 2 p.m. today. And if we sell out before the show, we might not even mention it on the show. But I would pretty much guarantee that by the time the show's over today, we'll be out of them because we only have like 6 left. So there you go. That happens at 2 p.m. Eastern time today. Hopefully some of you or all of you can join for that. And that's it. I see a couple more zaps too just came in. So where's sats.gg? Sorry, I'm a little bit antsy right now, as you can probably tell. I got a lot of shit to do, not a lot of time to do it, and yeah, I don't know where that came from. Anyways, somebody else sent 888 sats. Oh, it was Jay. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate that. That was to ARNIE'S Wallet and a 5 sat zap. So big shout out to everybody who sent in some very, very fat zaps today. Wow. Might be a record on the show today. Big one to BitBilly, 88,888. A couple other fatties. Ian's, 20,999 sats. And then a couple of fatties to start the day, 8,888 from Letha. One was from Duncan. I don't know. Sorry. Arnie's whining. I got to pee. And we got to go. BitBilly says, is ShakePay Canadian only? Yes. But BitBilly, I'll send you a link to Fold in case you're not using that yet. And it's the same as ShakePay, just the American version. So anyways, we'll see you at 2 p.m. today. Thanks, Arnie. Say thanks for all the zaps today. Hey, he's smiling. He's smiling. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Have a great Friday, great weekend. And join us at 2 p.m. Eastern time on the Maple Bitcoin channel. Thanks once again. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.